Representing radio, there's been one female artist I've been wanting to interview for quite some time now. I would say she is the saviour of lockdown with her EP that dropped this year. We're joined right now via Zoom with the one and only Sevana. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me. What an intro. Jeez.
It's true.
I've never forgotten.
It's all true. It's all true. Honestly, I really feel as if I feel with the lockdown and, the whole COVID pandemic that we've had around the globe this year, everyone's maybe a little bit sort of not feeling the vibes as well. Everyone's a little bit down. Everyone's a bit kind of a little bit slumped a little bit. But then you dropped the Be Somebody EP this summer, and that just completely switched everyone's mood. Like the vibes were just uplifted from that, and it put a smile on everyone's face. And I really think that has helped contribute to definitely my summer to make it feel like we're still got a summer.
Wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. Geez, I remember the way how you're talking about my music right now is the way that I talk about music that really helps to save me from down times as well. So I'm really grateful. That's kind of like a surreal thing that's happening right now.
Let's clicked. The intention has delivered.
Yeah.
So taking things back to where it all not where it all started from, but definitely how I first found out about you was from this fantastic album here in 2014. You were on Protege's debut album, Ancient Future, and I remember that was the first time I heard your voice, and it's definitely stood out to me as something very iconic about yourself and about the sort of characteristics of you. So how did that kind of happen? Because that was kind of really your first sort of breakout into the music that I know. So how did you kind of link with Protege on that?
All right, so what was happening at the time, I was trying to get into the networking of the music business, right? So I saw that Protege was hosting his event live from Kingston, and then he was having an open call for openers on the show. So me take up myself with the help of Shanae Daly, my sister / manager at the time, and I was like, I'm sending in my SoundCloud link. On my SoundCloud link, I think I had 3 covers. I'm Amy Winehouse, Bob Marley, and I think honestly an original, right?
Right.
So I do that, I don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden there's a DM from Protege on my Twitter, and I'm like, what?
It's just like day one, jump straight in.
I could not believe it. At the time, nobody was DMing me. You understand? I'm gonna have no follow, I'm gonna have nobody I tried hearing them from me. So saw his DM, verified that it was him, and he was just saying that, yo, love your voice, love your sound, I think you have a lot of potential, I would love to meet with you. So I go with Shanae and we sit down and we have a meeting, and just the way that he spoke as far as being open to hearing what I had to say, right? Which wasn't my experience with men, right? Men don't really like to hear you talk a lot of the times. But he was very accommodating, and I really felt like he heard me. And then we had several meetings after that where I just really wanted to get to know him, see what he was about before I signed on to working with him. And that's what happened. That was the beginning of this working relationship that we have.
Well, it's definitely carried far, because honestly, some of the music you've been putting out in the last few years since then have been iconic. And I don't want to pigeonhole you straight as just a reggae artist, because you're so much more than that as well. I know that from your songwriting style that you definitely draw from a lot of classic R&B style, but really, I think as a vocalist as well, your strength is, I feel like we haven't even started to see you really start climbing where you're gonna be. When I first heard you kind of deliver that.
For you all, I got some stuff for you, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you for saying that. I do see myself as really more so a Jamaican artist than specifically a reggae artist, and I love reggae, adore it, I really do. I just feel that as an artist you have to honor how the music comes out of you, and sometimes for me the music doesn't come out sounding like reggae, right? So what I've resolved to do is to just make whatever sound comes out of me the best version of that sound that it can be, right?
Absolutely.
And then also just to make sure that the lyrics are honest, whether it is that is inspired by somebody else's life or experience or mine, which I draw a lot from how I'm feeling and just experiences of the past. I just want to make sure that that's honest, and in that way it can be useful to people. You feel me? Because it don't make no sense you do music where you're always trying to bend it into something else. You feel me? There's something for me that don't feel authentic about that. So even in my conversations with Project, I've just been like, say if we be somebody though, me just go write some music, and however it come out, and we just try and make it sound as best as possible. And he was just like, yeah, I'm right there with you. You have my support.
Definitely. And I see you as like kind of one of the figureheads of the new Jamaican artists that are really paving the way for what you'd say as Jamaican music. It's not even a case of reggae anymore. Like we interviewed an artist I know that you're close with, Naomi Coleman, we interviewed her last year, and she was saying the same thing, how she's not always just trying to make reggae, she just wants to make the music that she writes. And the same with artists like Tessellated. We caught up with him recently, and he's kind of written jazz pieces. And at the same time, he's like, I'm a Jamaican musician who writes music. And
he's nominated for an Emmy.
I know. It's incredible. And the whole advert that he done with Apple and that on the advert, that was just like the way the visuals came together was iconic as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, man, for Jamaican music, it has a really wide soundscape, right? And I think that is something that maybe misses the masses, people a lot. But we genuinely have been doing pop music forever, right? Yeah. And honestly, we've influenced the sound of pop music forever as well.
Absolutely.
Created over 10 genres of music. So, to be a Jamaican artist is to sound however we sound like, and to be innovative and to be inspiring, and hopefully that's what my music it
absolutely does. And I feel as if right now this is a great time for female artists to be coming through right now. I feel as if there's a full-on world domination of female artists that you are definitely a part of. We've seen artists like Lila Ike, Naomi Cohen, Tosh Alexander, Coffee, Shensia, Moyan, Jada Kingdom, Pampute. It keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah.
Definitely, the ladies are running the world right now, and I think some of the most creative piece of music coming out, not just in Jamaica but all over the world, are coming from the females right now.
Absolutely. Did you see the visuals from Rico Nasty recently? I listen to all of them still. You understand? I live in the female music world right now. So Rico, Doja, Megan, Princess Nokia, everybody that you just named just now. Really inspiring work. Honestly, really creative, much more creative than the men. Not to start a war or anything.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I just feel like we really do have a way of being a bit more thoughtful about how we put music out. And when you can come fight me, I joke.
No, I agree with you on that one. And the one thing I definitely picked up when I listened to your EP this year, the Be Somebody EP, the way I thought about it was like, I don't even see this as a case of like, oh, that's a great EP from one thing that you've done. Like, I see you being remembered in 100 years' time when we're long and gone, in the same way that you'd hear artists like Aretha Franklin and Nina Simone and artists like that. Like, I would definitely.
Nina is she is my G.
Yeah.
She's my number one inspiration right now. Don't say Nina Simone, I'm gonna ball.
But for real, when I heard you doing that stuff, that was like it's got a lot of R&B influences on that. You can definitely tell that's an inspiration from you, and I feel as if you create that authentically too, with the mix of reggae influences and music from all kind of genres. But I think your voice carries so strongly on that, and it's something I'm like, I know that in 100 years' time, when we're all long and gone, this will still be listened to by people. This will still be remembered in that same kind of way.
Wow, I could only hope, yeah. Yeah, that's all I hope. I don't know how. I cannot predict how it should be useful, my music, to people, but I just only hope that it is useful in some way, whether it is that it helps you to escape a moment where you're feeling down, or it puts you onto a new perspective, way of thinking about something. But yeah, I'm really grateful that it does mean that to you, and that you do see that.
Absolutely. And I think it just goes more than just the music as well. I think one thing that's really powerful about you as an artist is the visuals that you have behind everything. It's something that definitely stands out as well. Of course, the one thing I really am talking about here is If Only You Knew, the video for that. But before I even talk to you about that, I think even just the photo shoot style visualizer for Be Somebody was just as iconic. It's kind of got that sort of grainy style footage, that behind the scenes kind of look. And I feel as if that was just kind of like a visualizer. That wasn't really an official video, and that was still artistic in your kind of way.
Yeah, I'm very big on visuals. Usually when I'm writing a song, once it's done or even before it's done, I have an idea of how I want the story to be depicted visually, and I'm very strong about how I want it to be, how I want it to show up. So I write my treatments, I storyboard my music videos, and I try to get it done to bring that across visually as best as I can. So yeah, it means a lot to me. honestly means just as much. After I finished making the song as good as it can be, the visuals mean just as much to me as a
So
song.
it's like a whole new project almost,
Yeah,
so half the project's done until the videos are there.
exactly, because the visuals for me help to tell the full story, right? And then it coming directly from me again, just as how the song came directly from me, I feel like that is a way of preserving the authenticity. What's the word? I don't know. Authenticity of the message. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the one thing I absolutely love, of course, we've got to talk about is If Only You Knew the video, because it wasn't shot in Jamaica, was it?
No, it was not.
And it was Senegal, right?
Yeah, it was shot in Senegal.
So you linked up with Yoram Savillon, the director for that one. Have you guys worked before together? Because I've read about it. Apparently, it was really just you two, and with the videographer, really, that was it.
Yep. We had worked together. I met him the year before. No, I think earlier that year. I met him earlier that year on a set, and we had really good synergy from jump, right? Yeah. So then he ended up doing like a kind of a visualizer for one of my songs that had already existed, Easy to Breathe. And I was just like, I was really impressed with the pace of his editing and the fact that he understood like the way I communicated how I wanted things to be. He was just like, oh yeah, for sure. And then we can morph this into this. And I was like, I've never gotten this kind of reception before. This is crazy, right? Somebody gets really impressed by how I'm go about and do the work and the work ethic as well. So he was just one of the first persons I thought to collaborate with when I was doing this EP for the visuals, just because I was like, well, I have really good synergy with this person, so I'm gonna just keep on working with it. And I did also end up working on one of his projects, right? So he did a film called Fair, which explored kind of just like the nuances of institutionalized racism, right? Which is why we were even in Senegal, because I was the assistant director on that film, right? Just because I did the work, and he was just like, yo, you're already doing the role, just hop on and do this thing. And because I believed in the message, I was like, for sure. So we ended up in Senegal to do the third film in the series, right? Because Fair was the second. And then at the end of us networking and laying the groundwork for this third film, there were days left. And then because I hadn't stopped playing If You Only Knew and I couldn't get it out of my mind, it was just like, yo, why don't we do a video? And I was like, yeah, we do a video. Yeah, so we just ended up storyboarding something really rough, honestly, right? I didn't even think that RCA would be like, yeah, we love this video, we're gonna put it up for your first video. It was really just me loving the song and not being able to get it out of my mind. So went into the markets of Senegal, picked out the fabric that you see that I wrapped my head with, and then I did have the only clothes I had was Puma clothes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just left Dubai and Puma gave me a whole bunch of things. And I was like, all right, well, maybe just make it work then. I have Puma top, maybe just, because it's hot in Senegal, it does stay, all right, maybe just have on the Puma. And then because I wanted to honor to where I was, the head wrap, and then also the Sankara material that you saw me wearing as the pants, and then also with the dress on the stairs and so on. So yeah, we went out into the streets. We hired a taxi driver to bring us around. At one point, Yoram had his body hanging out of the taxi through with the camera, the rolling really heavy, right? Yeah. And then me on the bike. We're slowing traffic in the middle of Senegal. It was wild.
That's incredible.
Wild. Yeah, no, for sure. But then, such a unforgettable experience being in Senegal, and also recognizing how that connected to the Caribbean, how our history is connected, Senegal and Jamaica. And honestly, that evolving even the meaning of the song for me, being there and being impacted in that way. So yeah, If You Only Knew is like and then also, I ended up showing it to Protege, because I'm always showing him what I'm working on. He was like, yo, Seb, this is dope. And I was like, yeah, this is a rough draft, but I just wanted to show you what I'm working on, because it was in December that I shot this, right? Last year. And then he ended up showing it to RCA. And then that's when I heard word that RCA was interested in having it as the first video. And I was like, what? I didn't have that vision for the video, but it's one of my favorite songs on the project and one of my favorite videos. So
absolutely, definitely one of mine as well. I feel as if I feel like you invented new colors in that video as well. So it's the most vibrant, bright, like uplifting video to see, especially when I think the video dropped just at the start of summer, kind of, I'd say peak COVID times, really. And again, it was just like, the music's great, it's uplifting, the video's happy and like sunny and just bright. And I just felt as if every part of that was the uplifting message that it was kind of like holding true to.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. You're being so generous with your words.
We got to thank you. You're the one who made it. It's like, we just appreciate it. At the same time, like, it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you. And it's something that myself and the fans included absolutely love.
Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
It's all good. So one thing that's happened, I've seen like your music has obviously been a melting pot of loads of different genres, loads of different influences. So one thing I always ask the guests on the Gully B show is to pick top 5 tunes for us to play, because you're a champion selector in your own right now. I think you could get into the sound game completely out of this, because I know that you've got some songs in your head that you know how to uplift everyone's day with.
Right. So you're asking me for my top 5 songs right now.
Top 5 songs that, you know, something special to you, something that I know that you know would uplift people. And I know that you've got a few things in mind.
Okay, so No One in the World, Anita Baker. There's no one in the world loves me like you do. I love that song. Like, just singing the words just makes me, you know.
It's a brilliant song. What's your first like memory of hearing that?
I think it was just my mother putting in a cassette or something like that, or she was on like the oldies station. I think it was Music 99. Jeez, Music 99.
Yeah.
Look at my mother teachers wherever you had day. Yeah, she used to just be on Music 99 or be playing a Tony Braxton cassette, a Manhattan's cassette, Kenny Rogers. She loved a Kenny Rogers. My God. Celine Dion, Jamaica's auntie. Yeah. So I think that was it. It was probably a Sunday, and it was probably Music 99, and that song came on, and I just always remember soul music making me feel good and warm and peaceful for some reason. And then because on Sunday too, the house was always clean, and you know, it's a Sunday dinner I'll cook, you understand, even if it's not a big dinner like rice and peas, it's something we will be eating dinner today. So yeah, Sundays were a really lovely day, and I think that's what I associate that song with.
Sevana, such a great song to uplift. I'm glad that you had that memory attached to it as well.
I do. I think for me, music is very nostalgic. A lot of the music that I really, really love, it's not necessarily even how great the singer is for me. It's the feeling that I remember.
Yeah. So what's your second pick then at your top 5 then? Or how are we going to get people going from there?
Step Aside, Beres Hammond.
Absolute anthem right there. You know, this is a reggae and dancehall show, so it's only right that we play something with such an iconic singer in reggae music. Beres Hammond with Step Aside.
Man, what a man can sing, Jesus. You know what I remember from that too? The piano. Like, I don't know why, but I always really loved just the music behind it. And
it's a wicked rhythm.
Vocal delivery. I feel like me and him have kind of like a similar vibe where I'm just sing from his soul, you know, which is my goal, to sing from my soul. So I think he just, wherever he sings from is just someplace where just God.
Well, he's still working now. I know he's still cutting dub plates weekly right now. So maybe hopefully could we see a Sevana Beres Hammond collaboration one day?
That would be a dream. That would be an honor. His son asked me the other day to do a birthday video, and I was like, what? So he says he's going to introduce me to him. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I could see what can go on.
Right, I'm recording this on Zoom right now. If that happens, I'm going to be sharing this. Look, we said it. We said it back in 2020. It was going to happen. We decided on that day.
I think it could make some beautiful music, honestly.
Honestly, if we can see a collaboration with you and Beres Hammond, that's something I know myself and everyone would want to see.
Honestly, everybody always asks me who I want to collaborate with, but now that I think about it and have talked about it, Beres Hammond.
It'd be amazing. Sanchez would be another artist I'd love to see you alongside.
You know, he's always bigging me up. He's always like, how you doing? And it's kind of crazy because like you grew up listening to these people and to these icons, to these legends. I don't know. I don't have words.
It's funny though, because the way you're talking about them, like I feel in just like 10, 20 years, the new artists that be coming at that point will be talking about you in the same light. I feel like really right now with the vocal talent that you have, like we're just starting to see what's going to happen. Like the Be Somebody EP, I know you've had the Sevana EP before that, as well as singles and things like that, as well as the Rock and Groove rhythm that dropped.
Yeah.
I feel as if like we're really starting to see the strength of you as an artist, and I feel now you've had kind of that RCA connection, we could see some absolutely huge things that was going to just take you to a new level that I think you maybe haven't even thought of yet.
I think so, and praying for the best, hoping for the best. I'm open. I'm ready.
Well, let's get into your third pick then, because honestly, the melting pot of music that I know that you've got stored in your head, I can't wait to see what you're going to draw for this time.
Okay, so Nelly Furtado, Like a Bird. And again, I just remember hearing this song and it just would take me away from the moment. I don't know, but I just really love the song. I don't know, if you were born in the 90s, you probably remember it.
Absolutely. Well,
Like a bird. I like a bird, I'll only fly away. I used to hear it on Zip 103. Big up everybody who used to listen to Zip 103, hearing the wait go. I climb into Zip 103 and I'm not coming back. Like, yeah, that was my whole childhood.
Upbringing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this song as well. I've got special memories. This is like, if I could have an anthem for my younger sister, this would be like the song. I remember her buying the tape cassette. I think that was like her first ever single she ever bought. So I've got a memory of that song straight away, and being on family holidays in Europe, and that was like on MTV, on basically every radio station around, I think it was 99, 2000, roughly around that time, I think.
Something like that. I remember when it was, but I just remember loving that song.
Absolute anthem from sort of that late 90s, early 2000s era, and I'm so glad that you drew for that one, Sevana.
Yeah.
What are we going for our fourth pick? Because I know you've got some wicked tunes going right now.
Okay, so remember I told about Otis Redding and being one of my favorite singers, Dock of the Bay.
Absolute anthem right there. This will, as I said about you earlier on, I feel as if you're an artist that's going to be remembered forever. Like, I feel as if you're really going to become an iconic vocalist. And I say become, like, I already rate you on that level, but I feel until the world sees that. And Otis Redding is kind of the same sort of category as where I see your future to be. And so for you to draw for this one is really special.
Thank you. No, I adore Otis Redding. That's my favorite genre of music.
Honestly, that is just like one of those classic tunes that will never be forgotten, and I feel as if that's something that Sevana yourself will never be forgotten, especially with some of these selections that you've been drawn for. I think you're going to put me out of a job as a DJ right now.
No, definitely not. I'm not coming for your spot. Many things, a DJ is not one of them. But my fifth pick, right, which I feel like maybe will catch some people off guard, is by this artist called Jewel, right? And there's a song that she had that's called Hands, and it goes, if I could tell the world just one thing, it would be we're all okay. And then it like in the chorus it says, in the end only kindness matters. I don't know, I just always remember hearing that as a very young girl, and it just really, and even now, like, I listen to it and it makes me want to cry. Like, it makes me feel really emotional for some reason. Just because I think the lyrics are really thoughtful, and even the music, the way it moves along with her, because it's not just lyrics too, just whatever word you say, depending on how you deliver it, it has a feeling. And I think for me, overwhelmingly, that the feeling was like, I don't know, one that was hopeful, like a really overwhelmingly hopeful feeling.
Yeah.
And the words just kind of help solidify it too. So Hands by Jewel, one of my favorite songs ever.
Sevana, thank you so much for picking those iconic songs.
For sure. Thank you so much for asking for them.
Well, I feel it's a great way. Like, a lot of the time when we interview artists, like, it's so easy to kind of just talk about the one thing you've like had recently. For example, we could keep talking about the Be Somebody EP, the great work you've done. I could just be like, yo, the artist's bad, you got to check the tune. But I feel a great way for people to understand you as an artist, as well as to hear what you would listen to and what has influenced you along the way.
For sure. No, that's a great idea, actually, because I feel like maybe some people won't be expecting some of the selections.
Definitely. I think going for Otis Redding, Jewel, Anita Baker, those were some great picks that maybe people wouldn't associate after listening. Well, they'll probably hear it now in your music. Once you start listening to that's what you listen to, you're like, oh, no, I can see that. But I think a lot of the time people might know you from your connections to the reggae industry, so they assume that you're only going to pick reggae music. So to hear those selections, I thought was really inspiring today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So to kind of conclude with things, what's coming up next right now? Because I know we've been in this weird like lockdown situation. I know a lot of artists are kind of thinking, how do we kind of carry on? But I know that you've got plenty other. You got the EP out now. We've got the videos kind of dropping. What else is coming next?
I mean, there's another video that I'm working on. There's one I actually did wrap up. I'm working on another one for Blessed. I may be here to shoot it. It's fine. It's okay.
Right.
But yeah, here meaning outside of Jamaica. But anyway, moving on. So I'm working on the visuals for the songs that I really want to help tell the other side of the story to. And, you know, the virtual performances, virtual interviews, the songwriting, the recording, nothing stops really. And for the first time, like I'm out of Jamaica in a long time. And it wasn't as scary as you think it would have been. I don't plan to make it a habit, but yeah. So there's a little bit of that happening, a tiny amount of traveling for me.
Well, I'm glad to know that we've got more things coming, because honestly, like, you're definitely one of the most exciting artists that we've seen pop up in the last few years, and especially this year with the EP Be Somebody. Like, for me, as a before I'm even a DJ and a radio presenter, as a fan, that was the EP that I've been playing constantly all summer. I'm lucky enough that I live out on the coast, so I've had that on at the beach every weekend at the beach has been playing that EP.
No, that means a lot to me, because Be Somebody is my favorite music that I've ever made. So big up yourself. Thank you for saying that.
Well, I can't wait to see what comes next as well, because there's so many good things. So in the meantime, where can everyone find you on socials? Because they definitely should be following you if they're not already.
You can find me under Sevana. You can look for Sevana. I believe once you type that into any platform, you should see where I come up.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, Sevana, thank you so much for joining us today on the Gully B Represent show. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show and your top 5 selection.
Big up yourself, Gully B. Thank you for having me. Just, I dream.
It's all good.